So we just now spoke about the status codes, right? What are standard status codes? We saw all of them in the Wikipedia, right? Now talking about the request header and response header. Okay. Basically, I have already explained you that when some information that is a meta information, right, that we need to send to the server. So server is not smart. Okay. Server is not smart enough to understand everything automatically by the request that you are sending. Okay, you need to make the server smart by telling some information. Okay, so I told you that header that you send will contain the content type application slash json. So let's go to postman now. Let's do some practice. Okay, so now I have already created one more collection that is a practice collection, not much. And this collection contains the APIs from the REQRES website. Okay, very simple collection. I have just taken these requests. Okay, so how you can look at the request that is being sent to the server. Okay, as I told you, you can go here and inspect. Okay, inspect, and if I'll click on this list users. Okay, when I click here, what happens in the network tab, you guys can see that. So here in the network tab, you see this API call. Okay, so this API call is basically containing the details. Okay, what was the request URI? This was the request URI. Okay, was there any request body? No, because this is a get API call. Standard get API call will never contain a request body because you are not creating a resource. You are just getting the data from the server. Okay, so this was the request URI and it was a get API call. Response code or status code returned was 200. Okay, so basically I have used this users API and created a new request here in the postman. So how you can create it? You can just click here, create a new collection by using this new button. Okay, and I will add request. Okay, add request. This is a new request. So basically what I'll do, I'll go to Chrome browser. I'll copy this request URI. Okay, and we don't need any authentication for this API. So I will send this request simply, right? So you guys can see that I have got the response from server by clicking this send button. Okay, and this is my API call. I can give the name to this request. So I will say get list users. Fine. So now I have got response code 200. Okay. What other response codes I just spoke about? Let's say I am deleting some record. So this is a delete request, and you guys can see on this website, that is REQRES, we have this delete API call. Okay, this one. So when I click on this, I have this request URI here, and response code is 204. Why 204? So the response code here is basically saying that no content returned. Okay, no content means the server did not return any response body because it's a delete API call. So let's say you are, as a client, sending a delete request to this server. Delete request, what it will do? Delete the data from database. So what data you expect in response? Nothing, right? Basically you have deleted something from the server and server has responded with response code 204, means there is no content in the response body. Okay, so this is my response code. Now talking about the headers. Okay, so if you go here in the headers part, okay, in the response headers, okay, fine. So what headers you have got here? So the headers that you have got are basically the host, the user agent, right? It will be more interesting when we will look at this request headers. Okay, so I have sent a get request to the list of users. Okay, and you can see the headers here. Basically, we have got this. response and preview. Okay, so I will visualize, and this is my pretty body. Okay, ideally, this with this response body, we have got this response body in you can see that it's a JSON response body, right? So basically we should get a header that is content type application slash JSON, right? And okay, so let's look at another request. Maybe we can just think of this one. This is my API to create data on the server. So in the headers, I have sent here like some data content type application slash JSON. Okay. So what happens if I don't send this content type application slash JSON? Okay. So it's basically, let's try to send this time. Okay. So you see in the response this time, we have got a correct status code, but the request is not processed successfully. Okay, why? Because I didn't explain to the server that I'm sending the data with content type application slash JSON. Okay, so if I send this content type header, okay, so let me show you. So now I am talking about, this is my client, that is Postman. This is the server. I'm not telling the server that what type of data I am sending. Basically, the meta information about this request body, that is content type. Content type is application slash JSON. So it's a key value pair that is sent in this header. Okay, where in the Postman you have these key value pairs. Okay, so here I'm not sending it now. You guys can see these are the active key value pairs. This is an inactive key value pair in the headers. Okay, so basically the server will not understand the request in a correct manner. Okay, server will simply return some random response. Okay, and the request is not processed successfully. Okay, so you guys can see here is my request body, and Postman automatically, just show a black color text. Okay, you see the data type that is selected here is raw text. Okay, if I select this as JSON, okay, now in the headers, uh, ideally this should send, I mean, this is the like JSON selected here. Let's see what happens now. So this time the, you know, basically the response has come successfully, and the request was also processed successfully. So this time the headers were sent, right? And the content type that was sent by Postman, when I clicked on this body and selected JSON here, right? I selected JSON, then Postman added this header that is content type. So you have informed the server that the data sent to you is of type JSON. Okay. So server in this manner will get more information from the headers. Okay. And try to understand your request in a better manner. Okay. So basically, let me again remove this content type. I have uh, disabled this content type header. I send this request, and you see again the data is not processed successfully, and you have not got the response properly. Okay. Now this was about request header, and basically you get similar things in the response header also. Okay, so let me show you the response header. So you have something called as console here. Okay, so you see at the bottom console. Okay, you can click on this console and check the logs. Okay, here is my latest request, that is post https reqres.in API slash users. Okay, so I can click on this post request. This is my last request. Okay, that I have sent to the server. Content type in the request headers were sent like application slash JSON, user agent, postman runtime. This is my another header key value pair. Okay, sent in the headers. Okay, request headers. Okay, then postman token. Postman has sent some token also, right? And what are other headers key value pairs? So guys, server needs a lot of meta information. So that is why headers come into the picture. Whatever meta information is needed by the server, it is sent in the request headers so that server can understand your request properly. Okay, now in the response headers, you can see there are some response headers also, which are sent from the server to the client. Client is your postman, and the headers here contain the content type application slash JSON because we have received the response in JSON format only, right? I will close this console for some time to show you the response body. Okay. Just so basically the response body that we have received here, will just okay. So you see the response body, it's created at name, job, leader, ID. Okay, these are some key value pairs received in the response body, and that is why we have got the response header, that is content type application slash JSON. Okay, this one, fine. And content length. Okay, so the server has also mentioned in the headers the meta information that content length was 80. So you guys can put some assertion on headers also, the tests that you can apply. Okay, so basically it's a post request that we have got from this reqres website and we have sent to the server. Okay, now moving forward with the agenda today, it's like environment variables. So guys, I think we can stop here for today. Let's talk about the environment variables tomorrow. We can now talk about the question and answers that you guys have. I hope this session was helpful to you. Thank you by Testology. Okay, let's talk about Q&A now.